String cheese is so delicious. This will be something that is going to give you a lot of food for thought. What's up, Brave New World? It's Joshua again here with a brand new video in which we are going to spark some debate. Spark some debate. Oh my God, because there's nothing that sparks more debate in our society, in our Western, Spanish, or English-speaking society than the topic of abortion, alright? Oh yeah, in this new entry of this attempt of a podcast, of this attempt to talk in front of the camera and read a few opinions and at the same time giving mine, it's going to be a very interesting one. The title of the following post that we are going to read and whose comments we are going to read as well is called Would you tell the partner if you got an abortion? This naturally is a question asked to women. Women that are able to give birth and gestate. Does that word exist? Hold on a second. Is that gestate? That are able to, gestate. Apparently that exists. Give me some synonyms. Gestate synonyms. Gestate synonym, which means bear, carry, expect, have a bun in the oven, bear, birth, deliver, give birth, and have. Basically, getting pregnant, Basically, getting pregnant and all that stuff. Before we start the following video, I would like to start with this particular, with this particular foreword given to me by an amazing friend of mine, Alex. Alex, if you're watching this, shout out to you, my friend. How can I say this? He's one of my best friends in life, and what makes him so special is the fact that he is not a usual man, in the sense that he is actually a homosexual, My homosexual friend Alex, who is taller and has a little bit more of a life experience than me, he has a few interesting opinions, He has a few interesting opinions about abortion, which comes down to the basic idea, which we can narrow down by saying that he believes that it is the right of the woman because it is her body, it is her temple, therefore she is the only one that should decide what to do with that body. Of course, you have this right, but at the same time you have some responsibilities. Something along these lines he said. In Spanish, he said to me something in the lines of, in our state, I'm not going to say where we are from, the legalization of abortion was given. One more time. I'm going to translate everything he said to me from Spanish to English because because I want to make sure I'm saying everything correctly. Let's go. He said something in the lines of, Alex said, it is assumed that in our state there is legalization of abortion. However, there are about 12 or 13 parameters, situations, which he is against, which he is against. Even in a Facebook post that I posted long time ago, he mentioned that the woman decides for her ovaries whether to have an abortion or not, alright? And some of the examples that he provided, let's not forget that my friend over here is homosexual, let's call it about what it is. In some of the cases in which it is perfectly acceptable would be sexual assault, it's a minor, it's an accident, risk of health of the mother and or the baby, danger of death, congenital or genetic alteration, or even non-consensual artificial insemination. Stuff like that. Economical reasons, even medical malpractice, medical malpractice, he's totally in favor. But what he does not approve and that he doesn't like is that there is a paternal blackmail and how the father is just a sack of money. On that one, you and I agree totally, my friend. On that one, you and I agree totally, my friend. I repeat, on that one, you and I agree totally. On that one, you and I agree totally, my friend. So true, alright? Thank you very much, Alex. I'm going to include your amazing opinion right here, alright? I'm so sorry, I have an annoying and irritating scratchy sensation inside my palate, and I have to scratch it with my finger, which I fortunately wash. Now, let us read the particular post that this person posted on r/childfree. Would you tell the partner if you got an abortion? The $1,000,000 questions. Tell and inform? Yeah. I say, tell and inform? Absolutely. But as for permission, that's totally ludicrous, and they don't own you, and they do not, how can I say this? They do not own you, and they do not get to decide what you do about your body. Something along these lines. Now, the post says something like this. These are the direct lines of the post, and they say, I recently started seeing someone, and we were talking about kids. Just like general conversation about them, alright? Just like general conversation about them. And let's continue. He asked if I wanted them, and I said no. He asked what would happen if I got pregnant, and then I replied that I would get an abortion. That's a very straight to the point, straight to the kill answer, you know? That's a totally straight to the point and straight to the kill answer, if you ask me. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And he goes, he was surprised by that, and even more surprised when I say I probably wouldn't ask him for permission. I know there is a bunch of contributing factors, but would you ask or tell your partner if you were getting an abortion? Edit. I think permission is the wrong word, but it is the only thing that sort of fits. A little bit of wrong grammar over there, but that's besides the point. Oh my god. I'm a child-free person, so if my partner, if my girlfriend and I decided we had intercourse, and unfortunately there is a situation of conception, I guess I would say, it's just a few weeks. Let's get rid of it. It sounds horrible for some people, but it is. At the end of the day, it's her body, alright? And we're going to save money on the long run. That's another story for another day. Now, let's read the other examples. Let's read the opinions of other people, alright? Because that's what is interesting about this type of posts. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about these posts, you know? The opinions that people have about these topics. And there's nothing more taboo than the topic of abortion, you know? And it goes something like this, alright? It goes, the first person replies, there is a difference between informing someone and getting permission. As a woman, I absolutely am entitled to full control over my body, and I don't give a rat's ass about whether anyone else thinks I should have an abortion. I would inform a committed partner who also fully believes in my right to bodily autonomy. I would not inform a one-night stand or a partner who might object or even try to block my abortion. Even one who whine about his precious genes. They can go find a different incubator. My body fully equals my choice. I have to admit it. It is true. It's your body. But at the same time, let's not forget, with full power and full rights, you have responsibilities at the same time. If this guy thinks you're supposed to ask for permission about what to do with not only your own body, but at least 20 years of your life, dump him. And to that, one person replies, I agree 100% with this, and I would like to add one thing. What do you want to add, my friend? What do you want to add? This person says something like, oh my god, the heck? Oh my god. I agree 100% with this, but I would like to add one thing. Men also should have the ability to opt out if a woman wishes to incubate a child. This is also about autonomy and should be respected just as much. Thank you. You respect men. You showed men a lot of respect with that particular comment, alright? And I thank you. I applaud you. And I give you a big hug regarding that. Virtual, of course, but it is a big applause for how thoughtful you are being by saying that. Thank you very much. In a society that mistreats men and expects them to be tough as nails, this is such a refreshing comment. Thank you very much. Then this person, now let's move on to a different comment. This person says, I wouldn't sleep with anyone who wasn't comfortable with me getting an abortion whenever I wanted and of my own volition. Volition, I like that word. I like that word. And to that, another person replied, oh my god, what happened here? Oh, come on. Alright. I'm trying to copy paste this, but it's hard. This person says, this is the way. I wouldn't have sex with a man that couldn't support reproductive violence. No, this is the way. I wouldn't have sex with a man that could support reproductive violence. Even the mere thought of it totally disgusts me. Also, they don't deserve sex with me or any women. Or any woman. Full stop. Then another person is totally and strongly agreeing with this one. And this person also says, what do you say here, hey? This. I wouldn't have intercourse with someone who wouldn't walk me to an abortion, then hold my hand through it all, and pat my back afterwards if I cry. For me, that's part of the trust needed for sleeping together just as much as trusting them to not hurt me through it, to not take off the condom secretly, etc. And there's nothing more despicable than that. Wanting to copulate is okay, but wanting to enjoy the ritual of mating, it's fantastic, but try to avoid procreation. It's very exhausting. Try to avoid procreation. It's very exhausting. Let's continue with another one that goes like this. To that I say, you can live your sexuality as much as you want. No, however you want, but you need to be responsible, of course. Try not to be, how can I say this? Try not to be, what's the word? Try not to be, how can I say this? I don't know, getting so many abortions in a year. No, there are other methods. Thank goodness for the other methods. And then this other person replies, I love this type of replies. This person says, someone recently, wait a minute. Scheiße. Someone I recently started seeing? No. No. Especially if I had no interest in pursuing anything serious. My common law partner? Absolutely. Just because I'd be stressed and I would want his support. Not because he has any say in my uterus. Yes, I'm so glad that these people are showing respect to their men by telling them that they can know, but in the end, it's my body, it's my choice. But hey, you and I are a couple, and a couple is supposed to love each other, support each other, tolerate each other, help each other grow, help each other become a better person, and give each other a safe place, not to fight a battle or something like that. Not sure if I am expressing myself correctly. With that out of the way, let's read another comment. This person replies, oh, come on. This is so frustrating. I'm trying to copy paste this from Reddit, but at the same time, it's hard. Adding that any partner worth a damn would support you in your choice. I like that thing. I like that train of thought, you know? I like that train of thought. I like that train of thought. You're totally right. Any partner worth a damn would support you in your choice. Yeah, totally. And then the original poster reply. That's how I feel. I just think it was a bit comical that he thought I run it by him and get his permission. I totally agree with that. Because even if he in the end respected your choice, it's your body, your choice. But remember, just like you expect your right to be respected, respect his to know and to, not to have a say, but to know, let's say. And if he reacts badly, dump him. And, like Ariana Grande says, thank you, next. Oh my god. I am seeing a lot of comments with whom I agree. And I have to say this is a wonderful one. A new person replies, I was honest with my husband, and I said that if I got knocked up, I'd be getting an abortion. He said he was glad. To that, this person says, you married well. To that one, a bunch of people replied with, what? Reply with 26 likes and a cake. And a cake emoji because apparently he had his cake day or something like that. I don't know. And then, oh my god, story time from this person that says, crack. Come on. This person says, me and my husband had a scare some years ago. I cried and he was there for me saying, my opinion doesn't matter in the end because it's your body. You will not go through something you don't want. That was good to hear. And it was just a scare treated by the morning after pill. Happily child-free. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! That's fantastic. I wouldn't mind dating shut up. Come on. I wouldn't mind dating someone who is sterile because of whatever disease. Or something like that. I don't know. Not sure if I'm making sense. I hope I am. And it was just a scare treated by the morning after pill. Happily child-free. That's fantastic. Let's move on to another discussion, to another comment that these people said, alright? This person said, wait a minute. This person says, my high school boyfriend and I split over this exact discussion. We weren't having sex, so it was a moot point, but he wouldn't stop saying, well, it's my decision too. And that really pissed me off. I reminded him that he could still go to college and have a life, and I couldn't. And that really pissed him off for some reason. Good riddance, lol. And I couldn't agree with this one more. Why? Because a man just provides the sperm, right? Ejaculates inside the woman's reproductive organs. The woman receives it, but the woman gets impregnated. The woman gets pregnant. The woman has to carry the baby for 9 months, which is a physical, hormonal, and mentally changing and challenging process, which can totally wreck the world of the woman who is the one giving birth to the boy. But the man just doesn't do much. I'm a man, and I'm the first one to admit it. And it's not because I'm a misandrist, someone who claims to be an ally of feminism. Not at all. No, I'm not. Trust me, no, I'm not. It's just that I am watching the facts for what they are, you know? Like it says over here. This girl reminded her high school boyfriend that he could still go to college and have a life. Well, she, as the woman giving birth to the kid and carrying the baby while she was pregnant, she couldn't have a life. Her life would be harder, you know? Good riddance, and I'm glad you get rid of him. Let's see. To that, other person replies. Give me a second. Oh, good. I hope he learned that it is absolutely not his decision. The fuck? Oh my god. And then this other person says, give me a second. Aha. I do not understand. It is their decision too. I'd be more inclined, or the OP, the creator of the post says, I do not understand. It is their, I do understand. It is their decision too. Sorry, I misread it. I do understand. It is their decision too. I'd be more inclined to have a child, though I never will. If I didn't have to give up my body, my time, my energy, my career, and my life, mostly unchanged. If I were a woman, I would probably have a similar mindset. And maybe I would try to have my uterus surgically extracted, so I never have to worry about getting pregnant. Or maybe my ovaries removed, or maybe my ovaries removed. And then this other person replies, nope. This other person replies, nope. This other person replies, as I said, nope. The only time something is a group decision is if both the man and the woman are using both reproductive objects, sperm and egg, and putting both items to be incubated elsewhere. Whether the world develops incubation chambers technology or it is in a surrogate. I like the way they're thinking. I like the way these people are thinking, I like the way they are thinking. I think in the future incubating technology will be developed because, the powerful people in power, the rich in power, normally they want the population to stay afloat so that they can still have people that in the future generate money. One more time. Let's read that comment again. Nope. The only time something is a group decision is if both the man and the woman are using both reproductive objects, sperm and egg, and putting both items to be incubated elsewhere. Whether the world develops incubation chambers or technology, or it's in a surrogate. Surrogate. Well, when it's in neither couple's body, when it's in neither couple's body, and it is a fair choice between both, then it is a joint decision. When it's in one of their bodies and can kill them or harm, which it does, then the man loses the right to have any decision over that whatsoever. Sorry, not sorry. Not sure if I understood that comment correctly, so let's read it again. When it's in neither couple's body, and it's a fair choice between both, then it is a joint decision. Guys, please use punctuation correctly, periods and commas. When it's in one of their bodies and can kill them or harm them, which it does, then the man loses the right to have any decision over that whatsoever. Sorry, not sorry. Not sure if I understand. I think if the two make a decision, yeah, but if one person's life is in danger, the man loses the right. I hope I understood that. I'm not sure I did. Oh, for God's sakes, my what's the word? My computer charger. Oh, for God's sakes, my computer charger. Shoot. Wait a minute. No. My cat went outside. I hope she doesn't enter through that door with a goddamn living animal in her mouth. I still remember that time 2 weeks ago when she walked in with the fucking live rat in her mouth. Oh my God. In her jaw. Oh. The damn rat was alive. I'm so glad she kind of killed it. Anyway, alright. I like this person that says, the determination in this person is enormous. Because this person says, oh, come on. This person says, I told my partner if he gets me pregnant, I'm aborting it and telling him after the fact. Ain't no way I'm letting any man, even if I think he's my soulmate, baby trap me. I like the way you're thinking, sis. Good job. I like the way you're thinking, sis. Good job. That was a solo comment, Nobody has replied. And I will say something like, I'm a man, and I'll say, that's the way to go. Wow. That's the way to go. Oh my god. This person writes a really long comment and I am excited to read it, alright? It has 3 paragraphs. Let's read it complete and then let's what's the word? Oh yeah, let's read it complete and then let's help me. Let's read it complete and then let's help me. Let's read it complete and then let's make commentary, right? I hope I said that right. Let's find out. It says, there is no universe in which I would ever tell anyone I knew if I got pregnant at all, but especially the father. Getting an abortion would be a foregone conclusion for me. Foregone, I like that word. And telling anyone about it would only invite potential for being hated and put in danger. Fuck that. I refuse to be punished for taking care of myself. If that means dismissing someone's feelings about what I do with my life and body, so be it. Thank you for using correct grammar and correct punctuation. I love that. If that means dismissing someone's feelings about what I do with my life and body, so be it. I don't think I'm wrong to feel that way, but even if I am, I really don't care. Or I don't really care. I think you can put the word really in any place at some point. I don't really care. I really don't care. I don't care really. I don't really care. It's possible, but let's continue with this. Plus, it's in the father's best interest to not know anyway. I saw a Reddit comment or post, don't remember which and what's up it was on, that stayed with me. Basically, a dude was so devastated that his girlfriend aborted their fetus that every year thereafter he would park outside the abortion center, eat birthday cake, and cry. Ah, fuck off. He would have been so much better off not knowing. Could have gone on with his life without being any the wiser. Oh, there's a reason why the saying, what they don't know can hurt them, exists. Fortunately, I never have to make that decision anyway, since I have gotten a B-slap. Woo! I have to say, your grammar and your grammar. I have to say, your grammar, your spelling, and your punctuation are sharper and more precise than the B-slap you got performed on you. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good for you. As for the father you talked about, from that post, I'll say I initially said, for F's sakes, for fuck's sakes. For fuck's sake. But then I thought he probably and genuinely wanted to be a father with his girlfriend and child. I totally side with the girl deciding to abort it because it's her body. But the man's feelings shouldn't be entirely dismissed. You're right. He was better off not knowing. Shouldn't be entirely dismissed. Because it's her body, so it's her choice. But the man's feelings should be entirely dismissed. Even if man only provides the seed. And like someone has said before, Like someone has said before, men can continue their lives while women can't, because they carry the baby and have the whole pregnancy. You're right, he was better off not knowing. This person over here is already invalidating and what's the word? Invalidating and dismissing the feelings of the man. Even if I agree, you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because come on, it's a man. He has feelings. Let's take them into consideration without ignoring the fact that it's the woman's body. It's her body in the end, you know? Without ignoring the fact that it's her body in the end. I thought I'm talking to another friend. Please don't pay attention to that. I thought you'd say. Let's continue. Oh my god. If that's even true, which I doubt, what a crybaby. Could you imagine seeing this guy on the sidewalk while going in to get an abortion? Or your BC? What's the BC? I don't understand what that is. Happy 9th birthday. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And then this other person says, probably a woman says, sad man crying over birthday cake outside an abortion clinic. Little birthday hat, half deflated balloons. I know I'm not fit for motherhood because this made me laugh irrationally. And you admitting it, ironically, makes you probably more prepared for motherhood than many people that succumb to peer pressure and then they become mothers. Or people who want to be a mother for sure, or they want to be just for the sake of being. That was, of course, an ironic comment because I agree with you, you know. I'm a man and I'm not ready to be a father. Even if I would have welcomed the possibility if he had been with that wonderful girl I dated in 2020 and 2021. I love that girl. Sorry. A piece of food in my mouth. Yeah. As I said, even if I agree with you over the fact that it's her body, and he has no saying whatsoever over her body, come on, let's not diminish, invalidate, and dismiss his feelings entirely, because he has feelings and probably he genuinely wanted to be a father and he wanted to actually give love and provide for a child, you know. Very few men want to be actual fathers because they want to and because they are willing to take the risk and take the cake, take one for the team, take one for the life, and give up their lives to be a provider. And that one is, to some extent, applaudable. Does that exist? Applaudable? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. And then there is other person that says, there is this other person that says, he would drive me back and forward and take care of me like he always does when I get sick. He doesn't want children either, so yes, I would tell him. I wouldn't ask for permission because I don't need it. It would just be me telling him it needed to be done and him agreeing. But that's my personal experience with my husband. And this other person, this other person who is the OP, the original poster says, sounds like a great man. And then the other person replies, he is. I love him so much. He is. Period. I love him so much. I love him so much. My cat is totally wet because it's raining outside. Nina, ¿qué pasa, mi amor? ¿Qué pasa, mi amor? ¿Qué sucede? Nina. My cat is here. Come here, baby. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're totally wet. I told you not to go out. Get over. Come on. Get into your little shelter. Go to your shelter. That was my cat. That was literally my cat meowing and coming back from outside, which is from outside, because outside it's raining a lot. She moved a little bit the microphone, but that's not important. Let us move on. Let us move on. Let us continue, shall we? Let us move on. Let us continue. And this other person says, oh my God. This other person says, wait a minute. I wouldn't be dating or having sex with a man who wasn't comfortable with me having an abortion if I needed one. Keyword, needed. Keyword, needed. That means that this woman is not like the vilified vision of a woman saying, I want to abort, I want to abort, I want to abort, have sex multiple times and then abort. No. Come on, multiple means of contraception, I think that's the word in English, contraception exists. Abortion is just one more procedure. The condom exists. And both the man and the woman can have surgical procedures to become totally sterile. I would do it, but I'm too coward. However, I'm single, so I don't think it will be a problem for a long time. Then, that's a solo comment to which I say, keyword, if you needed one. Alright? This other person says, well, I'm a bloke. What's that? Well, I'm a bloke. I don't know what a bloke is, you know? Well, I'm a bloke. So I think it is it's fairly unlikely to happen. Some short of some... Let's get started from the beginning, shall we? This comment says, well, I'm bloke, so I think it's fairly unlikely to happen. Short of some serious developments in medical science. Well, I'm a bloke, so I think it's fairly unlikely to happen. Short of some serious developments in medical science. If I were a woman, it would depend where I lived. Here in the UK, where abortion is available free of charge on the NHS, with virtually no negative stigma associated with it, probably yes. If I were in a regressive, repressive part of the world where seeking medical treatment of this nature might be illegal, and sadly that seems to include about half the US these days, absolutely not. But asking him for permission? What the fuck? I mean, sure, if you want to tell your partner what's happening and you think they'll be supportive, then fair enough. But you should never be asking for permission. Your body, your choice. That's the eternal argument to counter any ridiculous and normally religious person who is against abortion, you know? OP, if your guy thinks you should be asking his permission, run away from this guy very far, very fast. Then this other person replies, yeah, just the way I never asked for a partner's permission to have any other medical treatment, I need it. And then I said, totally agree. It unfortunately depends on the place where you live. The UK, not a problem, but in the US, good luck. And that should tell you something. Oh yeah. This, and my country too, in which we speak Spanish, by the way. That should give you an idea of where I am from. I have my tubes cut, but I wouldn't tell them that I was even pregnant before or after. Heartburn. My cat approached me, but she decided to apparently just roll around. I don't know. Let's continue. To this short comment, someone replied with a very long text, which frankly makes me very excited because it's a long, possibly story time, you know? Oh yeah. This person says, I agree. Agreed. I definitely... What's the word? Shucks. This person says, agree. I definitely wouldn't tell them before I got one. After? Maybe. Depends on the relationship, especially since abortion is not just legal but free where I live. So I wouldn't need to ask the impregnator for a cash boost to afford one. Thank goodness for that. In a situation where it wasn't free, I'd only tell them if I needed the money. In the situation that my ex put me in, where he knew I might be pregnant but deliberately fucked with our finances so I wouldn't be able to afford a medical abortion, I would do and have done a dangerous at home abortion with supermarket herbs. I highly recommend avoiding an at-home abortion as you can fucking die. But number one, the vitamin C tricks some girls swear by doesn't work anymore. And two, if you do need to do it, you are much better off Googling foods to avoid while pregnant or how to give yourself an abortion. That's kind of sad. Yeah. And then this person replies, honestly, this needs to get more attention because why? Thank God I no longer personally need it since I got my bislap a few months back. But yeah, this is important and useful. Oh my God, this is going to be an interesting debate. This other person says, yeah, if a man expects you to ask permission to make a decision about your body, he does not respect your autonomy. Nobody is entitled to use you as an incubator for their offspring, even if they accidentally knock you up. If my husband's sterilization procedure and my birth control somehow and simultaneously failed, I would absolutely tell him, not for permission, but because he could provide valuable support, both tangibly and emotionally while I pursue the termination. Tangibly and emotionally. Yeah, while I pursue termination. As I said, I'm so happy that these women are marrying good guys. They are good people, good ladies that marry good guys that respect their autonomy and the fact that they don't want to have any kids. And that's fantastic. With how the world is going, it's not a bad idea to have a few 100,000 child-free people. Humanity is not going to die, don't worry about it. 3 solo comments, actually 4 solo comments, 5 solo comments without any reactions. I'm going to read them as they go, alright? And I will make a comment on each of them, alright? Yeah. And that's gonna be the end of it, because I don't want this video to be too long, you know? I don't want this video to be too long. Oh my God. Crack. What the heck? This copy-pasted too many things, you know? Yeah. Let's do it again. Wait, I'm trying to copy-paste the things I'm going to read, you know? Oh my God. I guess I'll only copy-paste this. If my partner expected his permissions to get an abortion, he'd be getting an abortion and a breakup. Totally. As I said, as it has been said before, body autonomy, it's your body, so it's your choice, you know? What else do we have? My boyfriend and I have discussed it before and decided abortion is what? Abortion is... My boyfriend and I have discussed it and decided abortion is the only option for us in the event of a pregnancy. I would tell him if I got an abortion because I would want him to be able to support me through it. However, that is my answer. Build of years of mutual trust, support, and love. If your partner does not love you enough to support you through that, you need to find a new one. Unfortunately. And the worst thing is that you assume that a person that would support your idea not to carry on and move on with this bloody pregnancy, which was totally unwanted, and you took the precautions not to have it, but they failed, hopefully. Then yeah, come on. Yeah. If the contraception procedure, like the condom, failed, You can try it. But come on, if you didn't know about contraceptives, you kind of have it coming. In this time and age, you can't be this ignorant about procedures, contraception, conception, and anti-conception. Does that exist? I don't know. But that's just me. I personally wouldn't... Now, the next one person says, I had the same conversation with my current partner. I told him I would get an abortion if I were to end up pregnant. He agreed it would be the smartest move. I personally wouldn't want to be able... I wouldn't be able to have sex with someone who was against an abortion or felt I needed to get their permission, but that's just me. Again, your body, your choice. It's your body, so it's your choice. There is a... I like this. I would tell my husband because I don't hide things from him. I trust him with everything and we are on the same page about our goals as a couple. He always will give an opinion when asked for one. He will always give an opinion when asked for one. But ultimately, we agree that my health is my decision and I don't need to ask him permission for things. Hell, he'll probably pay for it out of his money and buy new squishmallows to help me feel better. If my husband was like your new partner, I would have run for the hills as soon as he said the permission comment. Then he says, this guy is a huge red flag and you need to run. I agree. Then this other person says, I believe in honesty, but that doesn't mean I believe in taking orders or asking permission. I would tell them after the fact. That sounds good. Or maybe not tell them at all. Maybe don't tell them at all. That's also a good idea. Don't tell them at all. Remember the previous comment I said about this person with a cake? Basically a dude was so devastated that his girlfriend aborted the fetus that every year thereafter he would park outside the abortion center, eat birthday cake and cry. On the one hand, oh shut up, cry baby, it's her body, her choice. On the other hand, my friend, life goes on. Unfortunately, I'm siding more towards her right to decide over their body. Just like, maybe, what if the roles were reversed and they wanted to castrate you? They wanted you to cut off your testicles, just so you could sing beautifully in the opera. Just so you could sing properly beautiful opera songs. You see how it is when you invert, when you change and twist the whole thing. Probably. Let's go back to the one where I was. Let's see. Male contraception. I look forward to it, you know. Oh, yeah. Probably not. This person says, yes, I wouldn't be dating them if they were opposed to it. Totally. This other person says, wait a minute. This other person says, probably not. I wouldn't tell my partner if you got an abortion because I've been aggressively child-free. Since what? I've been aggressively child-free for as long as I can remember, and there is no situation or relationship that could ever shift that from me. I meant to say shift, not shit. Also, I tend not to advertise... Also, I tend not to overshare about my medical procedures. I have a few chronic illnesses that occasionally warrant extensive procedures and hospitalizations, especially to straight male partners. I have an IUD and I try to only date guys if they have been vasectomized. But if something were to happen, I just handle it quietly and independently, just like all my other medical emergencies, lol. You can date people without vasectomies all the time, being sharp and direct and coherent with your beliefs, you know, all that stuff. And for the last short comments, say, if I was in a serious relationship, I would tell But if I just started seeing them recently, I would not tell. Good job. Yes, he's my husband, and as child-free as I am, he would agree with the decision. And finally, nah, none of his fucking business. That's true! It's none of their business. It's the woman's body. It's their body, so it's their choice. Nobody is disagreeing with you on that. At least in this day and age where there is still a bunch of ridiculous religious people saying wrong, horrible things about women and their body. The usual stuff. With that out of the way, this is where we stop this little episode. Thank you so much for being here. Leave your comments at the floor, leave your comments at the door, and leave your comments beneath this video in the comment section. I really look forward to seeing what you have to say on this topic. This is a very taboo topic. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much. Farewell.